So, exponent. The little number floating up in the air. All right, exactly. So if I have, this is the fancy math way. They always use letters. Okay, it'll be okay. All right, so the number that's floating in the air, it's called that, is the exponent. The number it is attached to is called the base, and the whole thing is called power. I will never ask you those terms again. I will probably say the word exponent, so as long as you know it's a little thing floating up there in the air, you're fine. All right, let's talk about what a coefficient is. A coefficient is basically the number in front of it, okay? The letter would be called a variable. The number is the coefficient. Well, they wrote it right there, okay? So the letter is the variable, the number is coefficient. The letter is the variable, the number is called the coefficient. So if I said 8x to the power of 2, this one, what is the coefficient? Go for it. 8 is the coefficient. What is the variable? Yes, but what is the letter in this one? It's x. Yes, this is the variable. What's the exponent? See? Who doesn't think that was fun? It is like, well, it's better than Disneyland. Okay. Not a stretch. Okay. A to the 8 over 7. What is the coefficient? We're doing this one. What is the... Oh, it's not 7. Okay, let's start with variable. What's the variable? Okay, variable is A. That's right. What's the exponent? 8. All right. That is right. What is the... I'm going to erase that arrow. I don't want that arrow because it's going to mess you up. Okay, what is the coefficient? No. Letters are always variables. There's no negative there. You're all working around it. What number's up top? What number's beside the A if no number is written? What number is beside the if no number is written? Who said that? Yes. You could write 1 right there, right? Nobody does though, because it's just not the cool thing to do in math. So, what's the coefficient? 17. Zero. 8. 6. You confused the hell out of me. 17. Oh, 1 over 7. 1 over 7. Okay? Because if you see a little line, like I know they say it's fractions, that is 2/3, right? As a fraction. It also means 2 divided by 3. Okay? So it's 1/7 is your coefficient. All right, next page, please, peoples. We're going to motor through this stuff. So, if I have... So an exponent basically means how many times you multiply it by itself, right? So if I have 7p to the 3, that means it's 7. There's only one 7, but then there's 3 different p's. So it's p times p times p, just like we just did. We're expanding it now. When we're doing prime factors, we kind of put them together. If it's 7p all in brackets to the power of 3, that means 7p times 7p times 7p. Okay. Do you see the difference between this one and that one? Well, they're just saying that you could just do all the 7s together, like 7 times 7 is 7, and then do all the p's together. That's all they're saying. Yeah. So we're going to write this as an expanded multiplication. So how many 3's are there in the first one here? What's the exponent on the 3? No. There's 1 3, right? The 4 is on the a. So that means 3. Now, how many a's are there? So you write a, 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 a. How many b's? So if there's no number written as an exponent, what number's there? 1. That's important, right? I will never write it, but just be aware that if there's no number written, it's just an exponent of 1. Yep. They're being multiplied. 3 times. Okay. All right. Next one. How many 3's do we have? 1. That's right. How many AB's do we have? 4, right? Because you got bracket to that power. So that means AB, my people. I don't have any people. Get out of here, my people. I don't want to learn more. Go away. There we go. Oh my God. AB, AB, B. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense? Okay. This one, B. How many 3's do we have? How many A's do we have? 1. It's not in brackets, right? How many B's do we have? So then you're right, 4 B's. Okay. What about D? What do I write? There you go. Because it's all in brackets, right? So it's the same as 3AB times 3AB times 3AB times 3AB. Okay. Do we have calculators here, people? Pull out your calculators. You can use a phone in class, but on a test, you can't use your phone, so you'll need a calculator. Okay? Now, you can do this without a calculator, but you're allowed to use a calculator on a test, so I'll show you, because everybody screws up this kind of stuff. All right. 10 to the power of 3 means 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. 3 to the 4 means 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, which is 81? 51? 3 times 3 is 9 times 9. 81. All right. -6 squared. That means -6 times -6. Whoever said that. 36. Yes. Now, just be careful when you do -6 to the power of 2 on your calculator. Please do it on your calculator right now and tell me that you can get 36. If you get -36, you're doing something wrong, and I have to fix that on your calculator right now. You got 36? All right. If you're getting -36, it's because you're entering it like this. You're just going -6 to the power of 2. You have to do brackets around the -6. All right. -6 times -6. Yeah, that's the same thing. That's fine. All right. The second one, -6 squared. If there's no brackets around it, it means that the negative is not being squared. So it's just 6 times 6, which is 36, with a negative in front. So you should get a negative there. Okay. When you're using your calculator, where you put the brackets really matters. All right. Does anybody know what an exponent of 0 equals? Yes. It always equals 1. And if you look at this, 10 to the 4 is 10,000. 10 to the 3 is 1,000. 10 squared is 100. What's happening as I go down like this? What am I doing? You're dividing by 10, right? So 100 divided by 10 is 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. Anything to the 0 power, it doesn't matter what it is always 1. Always, always, always. So if I say 3 to the 0, you say? If I say 47.36 to the power of 0, you say? If I say 1 to the 0, you say? If I say a to the 0, you say? If I say negative a to the 0, you say? It's always. That's you're not going to see that because that's actually a way more complex question than you think. It's indeterminate. They don't know what it is. Do you want me? You want a quick side lesson here? 0 to the, do not write any of this down. You are not responsible for any of this. 0. No, it's a natural thing to ask. Okay, I just told you anything to the power of 0 is what? 1. Okay, now this means 0 times 0 essentially. 0 times anything is. So is it 1 or is it 0? They don't know, so they say it's indeterminate. But you're not going to see that ever. Okay, so you don't need to worry about that. All right. 6 to the 0 is 1. Negative 9 to the 0 is? Negative 9 to the 0 is? This is negative 1. Because it means this. Right? The 0 is not part. Do you see the difference between these two? The negative is in the brackets, so that whole thing becomes 1. The negative is not in the brackets, so it's negative, and the 9 to the 0 is 1, so it's just negative 1. Okay? Last one. What do you do first? You do the exponents in the brackets, right? So 6 squared is anything to the 0 power is? So what's the answer? Yeah. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? All right. I only want you to do question 4. Number 4, please. And you've got 5 minutes. Question number 4. So we're at the top. All right. Up page 21 here. Exponent laws. Do you guys learn exponent laws in grade 9? Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to review them right now. Okay. Here we go. So if you are adding numbers that have exponents, so for example, 8 to the power of 3 times 8 to the power of 2. As long as the bases are the same, you add the exponents. Okay? So the rule, it's called a product law. You don't have to remember the name of it. You have to remember what it is. So if I have a to the power of m times a to the power of n, that's a to the power of m plus n. As long as the bases are the same, you just add the exponents. Okay? This kind of summary here would be a good thing to have on your cheat sheet for the test. Okay? If you are dividing, you subtract the exponents. all right, as long as the bases are the same. So this is going to be a to the power of m minus n. Who said what? If you are dividing, you subtract the exponents. If you have two numbers or variables inside brackets raised to some exponent, that exponent goes to both variables. So this would be a to the m, b to the m. The same thing applies to fractions, all right? The n goes to both things, so it'd be a to the n over b to the n. And then the final one, it's called a power of a power law. If you have something in brackets, okay, something in brackets raised with an exponent that's raised to another exponent, you multiply the exponents. These four things, if I was five things, if I was you, those four, just this column here, would be on my cheat sheet. Okay. Yes. So this rule, this rule, this rule, this rule, and this rule, I would put on my cheat sheet. Subtraction. Yes. All right. Let's practice this. So next page. Here we go. You know what? I'm going to write them on the board. If you have, where's everybody going to see? If you have, x to the m times x to the n. What do you do with the exponents? Add. Add m plus n. If you are dividing, what do you do? Subtract m from n. Oh, baby, let's go. And this one can also be written like this. Be written like that as well. Okay. What other one did we do? Oh, x, y to the power of n. What do I write? X to the power n times y to the power of n. Yes, that n goes to both. If it's a fraction, it goes to both of them again. And then the final one is the power. So we'll call it x to the power of m all to the power of n. What do I do with the exponents? You multiply it. So it's x to the m times n. Okay. So this first one here. 3 to the 4 times 3 squared. What do I do with the exponents? Add them. So it's 3 to the power of? They want us to evaluate, so I need you to punch 3 to the power of 6 in your calculator and tell me the answer, please. What is it? 729. All right. Negative 2 to the 5th divided by negative 2 to the 3rd. Are the bases the same? Yes, they're both negative 2. So you subtract the exponents. I'm going to write this out. You don't have to write it all out. Okay. To the 5 minus 3, which is negative 2 squared, And then you're going to tell me the answer is 4. Next one. Uh-oh. Because it's the last row, right? It's this one. Power thing. All right. So you just multiply the exponents and you get 5 to the power of? Look at everybody. You're all just so... There we go. 5 to 6, which is, sorry, what is it? 1565? Yeah. We're just going to go with that. All right. Here we go. We're on the home stretch, people. Are you excited? All right. A to the power 4 times a cubed. What do we do with the exponents? So what is it? Way too long to add 4 and 3, people. A to the power 7. X to the 6. X2. If no number is written, what number is it? So it's X to the... In case you haven't figured it out, I tend to get excited when I teach math and yell a little bit. If you don't like it, yeah, I got it. Too bad. B to the 7, B to the 0, B to the 4. What do you do with the exponents? 7, 0, 4 adds to? E to the 11. X to the 8 over X to the 4, you're dividing. What do you do? Minus 4. X to the power 4. There you go, X to the power 4. Y10, Y2 gives me? A to the power 4. All raised to the power of 3. What do I do with the exponents? A to the 12, because we're multiplying them. It's the last power rule over there. Y5 to the 5th. Y to the 25, because you're multiplying them. X over Y, all to the power of 9. The 9 goes to? C over 4, all squared. 4 to the power of 2, sorry. ST to the 6. There you go. 2A to the 5th. Oh, you would have impressed me if you did it in your head. 2 to the 5th. 32. 32 is 2 to the 5th. Thanks. Negative 3 PQ to the 4. We'll zoom right in on it just because it's the last one. Sorry, what was that? Negative 3, but we have to put it in brackets, right? P to the 4, Q to the 4. What's negative 3 to the 4? People beat you to the punch, buddy. 81 P4 Q4. All right, who's loving math right now? Thank you. Thank you. The rest of you, out. All right, here's what you're doing, please. Number 8. What other ones do I want you to do? $12. I think you should do 12. I think you should do 17. You got all night to do this. No, do you want one? You sure? Oh, yeah, I never talked about that. We'll talk about that. A12, and then number 18, don't do anything from 18. A12 and 17.